Richard Mille is not a watch. It's a $500,000 warning shot. If you see one across the table, you're not just looking at timekeeping, you're looking at velocity. You're looking at capital that moves fast. You're looking at someone who can deploy $500,000 the way most people deploy a credit card. In less than 2 decades, Richard Mille did something that century-old Swiss watch royalty could not. It made Rolex feel conventional. That's not an insult to Rolex, that's a diagnosis of what's happening at the top of the wealth pyramid. By the end of this video, you're going to understand how Richard Mille overtook legacy watch dominance, who actually wears it, which models rewired luxury consumption, how it built a financial filter instead of a social one, and what it reveals about the psychology of modern ultra-wealth, and, most importantly, what it means for everyone watching who doesn't own one. Because once you understand what this watch signals, you will never read a room the same way again. For decades, Rolex was the symbol. If you made it, you wore one. Presidents wore them, CEOs wore them, investment bankers wore them, surgeons wore them, law firm partners wore them. Rolex signaled competence, stability, institutional success. It represented power that worked inside the system. A submariner told the world you were established. A Daytona told the world you had influence. A date told the world you had entered the highest professional tier. But there's something important about Rolex. It is aspirational. Millions of people aspire to own one. Many eventually do. And when something becomes widely aspirational, something else has to rise above it. That's where Richard Mille enters. Richard Mille didn't climb the ladder. It built a second ladder and then made it steeper. Rolex operates inside hierarchy. Richard Mille accelerates past hierarchy. Rolex says, I'm successful. Richard Mille says, I move at a different speed. That difference matters because wealth itself has changed. The men who built 20th century empires accumulated slowly, decades of expansion, generational compounding. The men who built 21st century empires scaled exponentially. IPOs, exits, algorithms, arbitrage, leveraged acquisitions. Speed is now part of status, and Richard Mille looks like speed. The first time someone sees a Richard Mille, there are usually 2 reactions. It's fake or it's ridiculous. That reaction is intentional. Richard Mille does not resemble traditional horology. There is no clean enamel dial, no discrete Roman numerals, no conservative gold case sliding under a cuff. Instead you get carbon fiber, layered like military plating, exposed screws holding the case like visible armor, a skeletonized movement that looks like the chassis of a Formula 1 car, curved sapphire crystal shaped like aerospace glass. It looks less like jewelry and more like industrial equipment. That's because it was designed to evoke engineering supremacy. Traditional Swiss watches were inspired by elegance and legacy. Richard Mille is inspired by performance engineering. The movement inside is often suspended within the case, mounted like an engine. Materials include carbon TPT, titanium alloys, little alloy used in aerospace, quartz composites layered for strength. This is not aesthetic minimalism, it's mechanical spectacle. And that spectacle communicates something powerful. It communicates that the owner is aligned with technology, not tradition. In a world where tech founders can surpass aristocratic wealth in a single decade, technological alignment carries weight. This watch does not ask for acceptance from traditional collectors. It rejects them. And rejection at that level is part of the flex. This is where the conversation shifts from object to behavior. Because luxury is never just about the object, it's about the people. Look at who wears Richard Mille. Rafael Nadal wore a 7-figure Richard Mille while playing Grand Slam matches, not during practice, not during interviews, during championship-level competition. That changed everything. For generations, high-end watches were fragile trophies. You removed them before sport, you protected them from impact. Richard Mille introduced a new narrative. The watch survives the impact. Formula One drivers wear them while pulling G-forces at 200 miles per hour. NBA stars wear them courtside. Elite boxers wear them after fights. Hip-hop moguls wear them at award shows. Crypto founders wore them during bull markets. Hedge fund managers wear them to private dinners. Oil wealth heirs wear them in Monaco. This is not coincidence. It reflects a demographic shift. Old wealth built through factories, shipping, oil, banking. New wealth built through leverage, technology, markets, performance. Richard Mille belongs to the second category. It is kinetic capital on the wrist. Certain Richard Mille models didn't just sell well, they changed how luxury watches are perceived. RM27-01, the Nadal Revolution. This watch weighed less than 20 grams without the strap. It could withstand thousands of Gs of shock. It cost around $700,000. When Nadal won matches wearing it, the message was clear. I can swing at 130 miles per hour and my $1 million watch won't blink. Luxury shifted from delicacy to durability. The fantasy changed. RM011. The celebrity catalyst. The RM011 became one of the most recognizable Richard Mille pieces. Athletes adopted it, entertainers adopted it. It spread through visible power circles. And once celebrities validated it, demand exploded. Not from collectors seeking heritage, from capital seeking signaling power. Richard Mille pushed pricing into territory that forced re-evaluation. 7 figures for a watch. Not because it told time better, because it demonstrated material innovation and mechanical dominance. Price became architecture. It created a financial moat around ownership. Rolex scarcity operates through relationships, purchase history, dealer loyalty, time investment. Richard Mille operates differently. It filters through liquidity. If you can deploy $500,000 without hesitation, you pass the test. There is no decade-long grooming process. There is no tradition exam. There is capital. That's the filter. And in modern capitalism, capital velocity defines hierarchy. A founder who exits a startup for $200 million does not want to wait years for allocation. He wants immediate acquisition. Richard Mille understands that psychology. It is luxury built for high-speed wealth. For generations, Patek Philippe represented the pinnacle. Heirloom, generations, lineage. Richard Mille does not focus on lineage. It focuses on performance. It aligns with athletes, with racing teams, with individuals whose careers peak in explosive moments. It mirrors broader economic shifts. Tesla challenging legacy automakers, crypto challenging banks, Silicon Valley challenging old European industry. This is not nostalgia-driven luxury. It is future-facing power signaling. And that resonates with the ultra-wealthy under 55. They did not inherit factories. They built code. They scaled networks. They sold companies. Their watch reflects velocity, not ancestry. The barrier is not just price. Yes, entry often begins around $200,000. Yes, many models exceed $1 million. But there are deeper filters. Production is limited. Demand is global. Resale markets inflate prices. And psychologically, the watch requires comfort with attention. You must be comfortable wearing something that sparks conversation, comfortable knowing many will think it's excessive, comfortable signaling dominance without apology. It is not aspirational luxury. It is exclusionary luxury. Most people won't just struggle to afford it, they will not align with the mindset required to wear it. Traditional hierarchy, Patek Philippe, Rolex, Audemars Piguet. New hierarchy in certain power circles, Richard Mille at the top, not because it has centuries of history, because it represents financial aggression. It shifted the signal from heritage to dominance, from tradition to technological spectacle, and now other brands react. More skeletonized designs, more athlete partnerships, more extreme pricing. Richard Mille altered the axis. For years, minimalism dominated conversations around wealth aesthetics, understated signals, muted colors, subtle codes. Richard Mille suggests another truth. There exists a tier of wealth that does not prioritize subtle signaling. It prioritizes dominance and velocity. The individuals wearing Richard Mille often made money in volatile markets: tech, finance, energy, crypto. Speed defines their worldview. Their watch mirrors that. While the internet debates aesthetics, the owners deploy capital. Luxury at that level is no longer about fitting into tradition. It is about surpassing it. And once you understand that, you start reading wrists differently. That mechanical object across the table, it's information. It tells you who moves fast, who plays high stakes, who operates in volatility. Richard Mille did not just replace Rolex in certain circles, it redefined what top-tier signaling looks like, and the wrist became the battlefield. So, is Richard Mille true innovation or the loudest signal in modern wealth? Where do you stand? I want your take in the comments. And if you're into deep dives on the wealthy, the powerful, the brands that shape our taste, and the corporations and systems shaping our world, like and subscribe to The Inner Margin.